Hey guys, this is Brian and welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a one command creation, like there isn't Hero Wars, but here is a brand new one, more mobs in vanilla Minecraft. So this one adds in 18 new mobs, and you can see here more mobs by Brian, and this one destroys this machine. So I'm just going to run through the mobs, and basically all these mobs can be found naturally spawning in your world. So let's get on to mob number 1. So the first custom mob we can see here is the frozen zombie, and it spawns on snow layers, and anyone who comes near to it gets slowness 4. So it's quite a basic mob, and as you can see it's got a block of ice for a helmet, and if I quickly kill it off, it has a chance to drop a block of ice, and of course it'll drop rotten flesh because it is a zombie. So let's move on to the next mob. So mob number 2 here, as you can see, is the fire zombie. It spawns on red sand. You won't be able to see it because it leaves a trailing, like a trail of fire wherever it goes, but you can see it there. And the thing about this mob is, if I quickly get him back into his cage, it's really hard to get his drops since he is constantly leaving fire everywhere he goes. The best way to do it is, if I go get a sapling, is trap him in a place where you can like use a sapling to stop him setting the place alight, because the way it's all set up is basically, oh dear, I just need to place that back in, and as you can see he won't set the place alight. This is the only way you can really get his drops. So from now on all mobs will drop a custom skull. There's not a 100% chance, but you can see here all his drops. So you want the fire skull, of course. So the ice zombie is the only one that won't drop a custom skull, and the fire skull, which looks pretty sweet in my opinion. It's one of my favourite skulls. And of course fire walking boots. These are rarer. They give you plus speed, and of course the fire effect you guys saw in the intro, but I now need to get rid of it before it burns down the whole forest. Okay, right. Oh no. I think that is it. Completely gone. But yeah, basically the fire zombie, watch out for that guy. He is very dangerous. So let's go on to the next mob. So this next mob is the earthen zombie. He spawns on grass blocks, so is one of the most common ones you will find. And most of them can appear in both baby format and adult format, and as you can see, when I get near to him I get wither 2. So you want to be taking these guys out nice and quickly, and I didn't actually get his skull, but you'll be able to see his skull. I'm just going to quickly kill off a few more. They're quite rare to spawn in, since they spawn on arguably the most common, well, one of the most common blocks in the game. It covers the overworld. Like, compared to the fire zombie, it's really common. But anyway, let's move on to the next mob. The next one is the Desert Knight. So this guy, he's got a cool looking Desert Knight helmet and a nice shield, and he spawns on sand blocks, so can spawn in most biomes because you find sand blocks, but will plague the desert. As you can see, he's just a cool zombie with a nice shield and helmet. So most of the custom mobs just drop a helmet, but this one of course drops his shield as well. And I didn't get a single thing, but yeah, that is 2 of the drops you can get. So let's move on to the next mob. So the next mob is something called the cave monster, and you can see he's got a nice alien cave looking skull on him, and he spawns on iron ore, so only in caves. Of course most of these mobs are upgraded. As you can see, this guy moves quite fast. Let's see if we can get his skull, and there, he also has a chance to drop iron, so let's put that beside the fire walker stuff that we got off the fire zombie. So anyway, let's move on to the next mob. So this next mob is one of my personal favorites, and this guy is the Void Knight. He spawns on podzol blocks in extreme taiga biomes, so he's quite rare even in that biome. As you can see, he's got this really cool helmet and a really cool shield, and he's all purple. So let's see, we got both the helmet and the shield. So this is him. Let's quickly put him on. And it looks a really cool skull, and you also get this really nice shield to go with it. So let's move on to the next mob. So this next mob is the Minotaur, and he spawns on coarse dirt. So he can spawn naturally in the mega acacia biomes, but you can also make your coarse dirt yourself and spawn him in. But this guy, he's taller than you, and he has an axe and a bone. I just needed to add a Kai mob, and I couldn't add a mushroom because I decided why not. Let's add a Minotaur and let's kill him. And as you can see, he actually drops stuff a Kai would drop. I do have looting 25 on this sword. So let's put the Minotaur's skull up here, and let's just look at myself with this skull on. It's quite a cool one. Not as cool as that though. So let's go on to the next mob. Right, so the next mob is pretty common as long as he's on obsidian. He's got quite a high spawn rate, but he has to spawn on obsidian. So if you do have obsidian, he's quite likely to spawn on it. He's not too strong, but he does deal a lot of knockback, and I think he just looks pretty cool. He is, of course, the orc mage. He doesn't overly look very mage-like, but that's what he is. And if I kill him here, you can see he drops what a witch would drop, and here you can see he's got the wand, which is a pretty cool weapon. It's got sharpness 10, knockback 3, and fire aspect 1. But anyway, let's go on to the next mob. Right, so this next one is the swamp monster, and he spawns on gravel, so he can spawn just about everywhere. Of course, mobs can't spawn on like water, so this is why I made it gravel. But yeah, it spawns on gravel because that's usually found near water. It's got not my favourite skull, but it still looks decent, and as you can see, we just got it there. It's a swamp monster skull, and it's like a bit like a crocodile fish thing. But let's put it there, and let's move on to the next mob. When I said most mobs will be able to spawn both baby and like just normal type, this is one exception. This will only ever be a baby zombie because it is the goblin. And this small guy, he doesn't do much attack damage, but as you saw, he is incredibly fast. So if I just punch him, he's not going to move. But yeah, let's just see. He didn't drop anything. Of course, he just has the normal zombie drops. But he spawns on stone, so he's really common in extreme hills and caves. But anyway, let's move on to skeletons, because those were, I believe, all the zombie ones. Right, so all the previous mobs would spawn in the place of zombies. So this doesn't affect the spawn rates. The same amount of mobs will spawn in. So we're now moving on to the skeletons. So if a skeleton spawns in tall grass, well, just grass, it has a chance to turn into this. This is an ent, and it's taller than you, and it deals quite a lot of damage. So I just go and kill it. It'll drop wood, and I just got achievement, and of course the ent skull, and it looks okay. I quite like how it has this green patch on the top. But anyway, let's move on to the next mob. So this next mob is the mossy skeleton, and as you can see, he's got a brown skull with moss on it, and he deals more damage because he's got an enchanted bow, and he of course spawns on mossy cobblestone. So it's really easy to find in dungeons if it's a skeleton spawner, and he drops bones, arrows, and mossy cobblestone, which is now called moss stone. But yeah, he has a decently high chance of spawning, so he's quite common. But let's move on to the next mob. So this next mob is the ghost. Now he spawns on stone bricks, so he could spawn if you got a house made out of stone bricks. and also in strongholds. So he's quite rare if it's just strongholds and houses, but of course your houses should be lit up. But you don't really want to walk into this guy because he's really slow moving, as you saw when he was just walking about. But he's got 500 health because he's a ghost and they're sort of unkillable. And, well, he's a ghost and he's really hard to kill. I mean, look at this, right? This sword does 508 attack damage because he has armor as well. He's not dead. That's 508 attack damage. That's crazy. 2 hits will kill him, but 508 attack damage is not enough to kill him in one shot. So what are you supposed to do if you encounter one of these? Well, as you can see, he drops a really good chest plate. So you want this, it's unbreakable, 12 armor, that's more than diamond. Well, you've only got one option, because when there's a ghost, well, who are you supposed to call? Well, it's the Ghostbusters. So let's move on to the next mob. Right, so you've just stumbled across a ghost and you're a bit stuck. Well, your only option is to A, wait till he spawns, or run away and find a village. Now once you find a villager, you'll want to try and find a ghost villager. Now this is probably one of my favourite mobs just because it uses a really simple technique to make him look like a ghost. As you can see, he's completely see-through, but he's still slightly visible. And if I right click on him, he's always got 7 ender pearls for 3 emeralds. It's a generic trade, and of course 70 emeralds for a spawn ghost buster. So let's quickly go get some emeralds and get a ghost buster to try and take out this ghost. So basically, if I come over here, right, this guy is now going to go for him, but you can hear him, he starts to die as soon as he gets close, and he should die. Right, so this guy, he's not going to be able to stand up. If I go quickly get a diamond sword, he is going to die pretty soon. I am using a diamond sword. Okay, right, he survived quite well. That took 5 hits of a diamond sword. But as you can see, the ghost still deals a ton of damage, but he's about your only hope for surviving the ghost. He's really strong against it, and he can easily take them out. But anyway, let's move on to the next mob. So this next one, we're now moving on to zombie pigman mobs, and is a very basic one. It's just living fire, spawns on netherrack, in the nether, no custom drops. Just a cool addition to the nether. So let's move on to the final mob. And here we can see the final mob, mob number 17. And as you can see, it is the demons. It's a zombie pigman that will spawn in the nether fortress. It's got a chance to turn into this. Really cool skull. Quite hard to defeat. They've got a lot of health. It's like a mini boss battle. But upon killing this guy, he drops his demon skull, which looks pretty cool, and he can actually drop his enchanted blaze rod, if you saw that. I'm not going to tell you what it does. It's got fire aspect 5, but it is another cool little thing to do. And yeah, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed the custom mobs. They will all spawn naturally. Some in the nether, some in the overworld. But they should all spawn naturally. They may be really rare, some of them. But guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely leave a like and subscribe. I do a lot of one command creations. But for now, goodbye.